All right now. Here we go. We're live. Rob, holy cow. I'm so excited.
Me
Like
too.
this is this is so important to me, and that you get to share your story as like a dude who works with me and has been working with me for years, and I think you're the best person to like the best guy to share around this because Rob, you're such a good talker. I mean, like, here, let me change your Zoom name so that everyone can see you because it just says it's your computer.
Ah,
Yeah. So I'm not gonna say it's Rob Wozniak. It's Rob Wozniak. And I'm gonna put oh snap realtor.
oh,
Yeah,
nice. There we go.
yeah, there we go.
Okay.
Like you're such an amazing talker, and I know a lot of the guys, the awesome guys that I've worked with. Some of them are like, oh, like you're amazing, and I don't know what to say, or I don't know how much I can say, that kind of a thing. Whereas you're the best, you are so approachable, Rob. Like everyone can talk to you, can talk to anybody. That's what you do for a living.
Yeah,
Like,
it turns out I do. I talk to people. It's one of my specialties.
yeah, what in the world? So I just before we share your story, I want to give everyone that like context of Rob, like you're stepping forward to share your story, and I'm just so grateful for you, even before whatever you're gonna say. So I just want to thank you for this, as well as warn everyone. Put your headphones in because we're from New Jersey.
That is very true. That is very true. So
We're not going to hold back speaking the full rainbow of New Jersey English. So if you don't want to give your children an
it's just not it's just not really our style here. We
yeah,
don't
yeah,
really.
yeah, this right here is not how we normally talk. So this has been your warning and your opportunity to put your headphones in, so that you don't give your children an education in how to be very colorful with their language. And so, with that being said, here we go. Tell us, Rob, who you are, what you do, how people can connect with you, like where you're at right now. Who's Rob Wozniak? This
Okay, well, Rob Wozniak is currently a real estate agent with Signature Realty NJ. Our office is in Summit, New Jersey. I've been there for a few months. I have some experience with another agency before that, but I've been in for a few months, and working in the extremely hot New Jersey real estate market right now, which is a lot of fun. I'm on Instagram at Rob Woz, ROBWZ dot real estate, and that's on Instagram. And on Facebook, I am R Wozniak dot real estate. So come check me out. I do some stuff. I do some market information and stuff like that. So if you're in the Union County area or whatever, you want to know what's going on, give me a follow. Love to have you.
absolutely, I love it. And when you're typing Rob Woz, that's WOZ, not like Woz.
Yes, WOZ, ROBWOZ.
Yeah, awesome. So, okay, we've been working together. Like you've been coming to me for business Reiki sessions
Mhm.
for a few years now. Years.
Yes, I think it was 2019.
Mm-hmm.
2019 was the first time we worked together.
Gosh, and so it's been what is that? 2 years?
Yeah,
You're
we're coming up on 2 years pretty soon. So time flies when you're having fun, right?
gosh. So take me back to a little bit before we started together. Like what was your so they have like BC era and then like AD era. What was your BV before Victoria? What was that looking like? What was going on? Where did you work, if anywhere? Like what was that looking like?
Okay. Well, I guess it's kind of a long story. We've only really been working together for 2 years, but my journey is probably over 20 of just really and whether I was in business or not, really just dealing with myself has always been a struggle for me. I did, going back to even like high school and college, I did really well in school. I really could have went anywhere and done anything I wanted to do with my life. But like I guess mid-teens to later high school year, I just was having a lot of trouble with myself and having a hard time just keeping up with I guess past successes, or how am I going to top this now? And I did a lot. I worked, I played sports, I was all honor student, whatever. And I put a lot of pride in all that. So I started to lose my edge a little bit, and I had gotten into some trouble. My senior year didn't really go as planned. I didn't really do a lot of schoolwork. I did a lot of partying with my friends. And I just went to go pick it right back up in college. I figured, oh, we're taking the year off. You did good. It was a tough year. Let's take the year off. We'll hit it back hard in the next year in college. And I went away for mechanical engineering, and that right away didn't work. So I wind up coming back home and going to Rutgers, and I figure do what you love, and you'll love it, or whatever the term is. So I went to art, and I started that, and it was good, but I just wasn't focused as I was in the past. Um, it was just really tough for me. I was working at the same time like a lot of other people through college, and um, I kind of lost interest per se, and I really started to gravitate more towards business and sales. I waited tables, bartend and stuff like that in college. So I really kind of like that because I was able to use, just my personality and just like my hard work, my work ethic to really make money. And it was kind of a turning point for me where I was like, maybe I need to be in business, and sales. So I did well in that, and I had some money. So when I got out of college, I worked for my father for a little bit. And then I was kind of looking at random jobs, but nothing really, I didn't really want anything, jobs I got, I didn't want. And then, it just didn't work out. So I had an opportunity with a good friend of mine. His family was in the route distributing business for years, and we were both kind of looking to do something. And we both had a couple of bucks laying around, so we were like, "Hey, let's go buy this route and do our thing." So that what we did, and it worked out. We bought it. We wound up selling it back to the company for a profit in like 10 months, and then we both went our separate ways. He started buying routes on his own. I went, on my way and started doing the same thing. So in all essence, it really worked out. And, I guess when you're used to being in college, and whether it's your family or friends, a lot of people are always assuming that you're going to go get a career job and move on in your life in that way. It was kind of cool for me because I'm like, oh, I'm doing my own thing. We're in business here. I like this. It's something where I can kind of be in sales, be aggressive, and it's my own thing. And it worked out. I mean, we were 25, 26 years old. We cashed out the first year. It was a nice deal. So, and it gave me the confidence to kind of say, hey, you know what? Maybe business is what I'm going to do. And whether it's this or something else, I'm going to roll this ball as far as I can. But it was funny, like as a young man, I kind of realized, started having a little bit of trouble in the high school and early college. I kind of said to myself, I'm like, I gave myself a break. I'm like, you're a young guy, you know what I mean? You're going to grow out of this. Eventually you're going to feel better. Eventually you're going to have the confidence that, that grown man confidence that you think you should, you're going to get there one day. And it wound up really just being a long road of me struggling with myself and not really reaching my full potential. And in business was going great. I mean, when I went off on my own, I had another several years of success, and money was coming in. I was by any means living the lifestyle that I wanted to live, whether it was, having time to go away or hang out with my friends or have money to really do whatever. That was great. But at the same time, at some of those times where I should have felt the best, I felt the worst. And, it just got to the point eventually where, now these things were really starting to hamper me now before I was succeeding and kind of feeling like, oh, there's another level to this, I'm not feeling 100%, I feel like I'm going to get there. That eventually turned to where now I was kind of hurting myself and beating myself up, and just doing a lot of things that were really negative for my life. So I just tried to keep going, and I didn't want to give up. I didn't want to just give up and move on and get a job, or, whatever advice other people would give me. I wanted to stay in the game and, continue in that kind of lifestyle. And it just, a lot of the choices I made, I didn't realize at the time were very poor choices. And the way I chose to live my life, how I did business, what I was doing for business, it became to really kind of wear on me personally. And like I said, it wound up being several years of me just trying and failing, and just, it was a bad cycle. I would wind up back in the same place. And it's funny because I have a friend of mine who we've been close for a very long time, and we both kind of struggled with ourselves mentally over the years, and we've always kind of bonded over that. And we would always have a conversation on, the beginning of the year, New Year's Eve, whatever. And it was always like, this is going to be our year, you know? And, it just got to the point where I think I made a joke a couple of years ago that I was like, we've been saying this shit for 20 years, and nothing's really changed. So it just got to the point where, I was having a lot of problems. I'm 41 now. When I was 35, 36, things really started to, you know, to tick downward for sure. I was having a lot of problems. I was depressed a lot of, anxiety and, panic attacks, whatever, all that kind of stuff. And, my life just grinded to a stop. I couldn't really, I wasn't getting much done. I wasn't doing well in business anymore. My personal life wasn't good. I've always been blessed to have, close friends and family around me to support me, which I'm super grateful for, because, yeah, I really don't know where I'd be without them. They really kind of kept the ball going for me. And, like I said, it just became a long, kind of drawn out, where I was just kind of wallowing in my own shit, to be honest with you. And I wasn't getting anywhere. My lows were lower, my highs were lower. It just didn't look good. And after 18 and 19, 19, I don't know. I think I had several, panic attacks, or whatever you want to call it. I passed out behind the wheel a couple of times. I was a mess, and I tried my best not to let that out, but people start to notice, and your friends and loved ones start to notice that there's a real issue here. So my sister-in-law Jen has been a client of Victoria's for several years, and she always spoke very highly of Victoria, and what she does, and how she can help people. And I guess it was between her and my mother, they were kind of like, you're going, because this is just getting this is getting out of control. And to be honest with you, to look back now, it's like, wow, like I couldn't believe how bad it actually really got. So that's really how we came to work together, is through my sister-in-law. And we met before that. And I was super impressed by Victoria right straight away, because she actually married my brother and my sister-in-law. So we kind of met up over dinner. She was kind of, getting some feedback on that whole situation, and what they were doing. And I think I was brought in as moral support for my brother, maybe. And I got to meet Victoria at dinner, right, and I was impressed right away. In fact, I always tell the story, because she looked at me, yeah, like she was talking to them. We were kind of sitting next to each other, and she kind of like turned over to look at me, and like I feel like she just looked like right through me, and I was like, can she, you know what I mean? Like, I just felt like she could see right through, frankly, my bullshit. You know what I mean? I feel like she could just look through my eyes and know what the hell was going on in here. And I was like, uh, I was like, oh my God, so I was super impressed. And, anybody who's met or dealt with Victoria knows that she's just that kind of person. And, you know, uh, super talented, super intelligent. She knows everything about something. She knows something about everything, I should say. So it was just a really, really good addition to my life.
How did
And
you end up making the decision? Because I remember that night too, meeting your brother and your sister-in-law, and shout out to California Jen. Oh my gosh. Yes, yes. So I remember meeting your brother. That was when I met your brother for the first time.
Oh, okay.
Some drunk person spilled a whole bottle of red wine right behind your sister-in-law, and your brother jumps up and like, yeah, he goes into his military mode of like, you gotta sweep it this way. It was
Not a shocker. Not a shocker at all.
amazing. It was amazing. And that was like, so what was the point though that you decided like, you know what? I'm gonna like, I don't know what the hell this is, but I'm gonna go see Victoria. Like what tipped the scale for you? Like, do you remember the moment you decided?
Yeah, I mean, regardless, I mean, just for myself, I mean, I really did realize, and I had been to traditional, psychotherapy. I had been on and off, whatever, antidepressants and things of that nature for 20 years, and with no real help. And I'd stopped taking that in 2013. It had been several years of not being on medication, and I knew things weren't going well at all. So something needed to be done, and I was just, like I said, frustrated with that whole realm of dealing with things. It just never really worked for me, and I had some of my worst times on the medication. So I was already kind of anti that, and I'm like, what am I going to do? Like, how am I going to turn this around? Because I blew through most of my 30s. You know what I mean? Like how am I going to turn this around? I had all these, I had all these goals that I was looking to accomplish in my 30s and my early 40s, and it was apparent at that point that it wasn't going to happen. So I'm like, what am I going to do? How am I going to turn this around? Obviously because of Jen working with you, she always spoke very highly about what you've done for her, and I believe in what you do. I mean, obviously I'm working with you, but I believe in your talent, um, it's something different maybe for a lot of people, or specifically guys, maybe. Um, I'm always willing to try something that's going to help me. Regardless of what other people think, I don't mind being the guy. I mean, I go to, not that it's that crazy now, everybody does it, but I go to yoga. I'm the only guy in there, and I don't care, you know what I mean? Because I get something out of it, you know what I mean? I feel great when I leave there. And, that's what I get, the same thing here. Like, I tell other people when I'm trying to tell what I actually do with you and what you actually do for me. And I'm like, it's about to go down when she starts like looking into the corner of the room and the spirit guides start talking. That's when some shit's about to go down. So like I said, I've always kind of been curious about stuff like that, and just like, basically, what you actually do, was always kind of interesting to me. And like I said, I was kind of like, well, you know what, my sister-in-law this has really done well for her. I'm really up shit's creek without a paddle here. Oh, let's do it. And like I said, I was impressed when I met you prior to us working. So I was like, yeah, let's do it. You know what I mean? And when I came in, I came in with the attitude that I needed help, and that, I did my best to just lay everything down for you, and really just do whatever you told me to do. Um, that was important because people ask questions, and I said, I was like, I just do whatever she tells me to do. You know what I mean? Like, I do what I'm doing, but like, I have certain things I have to do. I'm like, I don't necessarily understand everything, but I'm just going to go and do it because she said to do it, and I trust her. And that has really worked out for me, um, amazing. Because it's a lot of times when you start out with something like this, it's very hard to see or to know what might be the outcome or what might actually happen. So that's been an interesting story as well.
This is magnificent. And like, I don't take what you're saying lightly, Rob. I am deeply honored that you trust me. I'm deeply honored that you trust me. And in line with what you were just saying though, I'm curious, can you share what has happened? So okay, I've apparently been telling you what to do, and you've been doing the things. Okay. Like, are you still on medication? Are you still super duper depressed? Are you still having challenges at work and all? Like, what happened? What happened?
I mean, obviously, I was in a really bad spot when we started, and I had been, in the distributing business. I looking to get out, so I wind up selling. I've been in the process of selling my last route when we started working, and I wind up selling that, and which was a crazy nightmare to begin with. So that was a one hurdle to get over. Okay, but I didn't have anything lined up for my next business or what I was going to do. And that's really where we started, was just really repairing the damage that had been done over the years of me trying to deal with myself, and really just working on my mentality and my mindset, was huge, because that's what for the first year or more that we worked together, I mean, I was really just trying to and that was my goal, is I don't know what I'm doing next. But I was like, I was 39 and a half. So I'm like, by the time I turned 40 in March, I'm like, I don't need to be into something else yet, but I need to be ready to go. And I need to be mentally and physically at my top and ready to rock and roll. And, and I was, it took a long time. I mean, there was a lot of ups and downs. It wasn't a straight line up. I had months that really worked out really great. And then I had months where I'd come back and didn't have much good to say, to tell Victoria. So, it was definitely a tough thing. But like I said, we worked on that mainly. And then once we got somewhere with what was going on up here, then we got more into specifics of, where I'm going and what I'm really trying to do. And I went back and forth on a couple of different things before I wound up where I'm at now too. Um, so it's really been, it's been fun for me because I really, like I said in the past, like I've had some success in life or in business, and but I really, it was never as enjoyable as I thought it was going to be. I thought, oh, when I hit this mark, or when I get this amount of dollars in my account, or when I make this deal, I'm going to sit back and be proud of myself. And I wasn't. I was constantly, well, how the hell am I going to do this again? I had such a poor mentality that, like, now, like, it's just incredibly different now. Everything that I would procrastinate for, I run towards, and I want to get it done. The phone calls that I don't want to make, I make them first. The things that I don't want to do, I do them first, because I gotta, my way wasn't working. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't working, and I had to turn myself over to Victoria, and that's why I said I did whatever she told me to do. And it worked. I feel like the last couple, I mean, I've been at my new gig now for a couple of months, and things are going well. I mean, it's a new thing. I'm just getting in full time now. So it takes a while, to kind of get the ball rolling, but I've never in my life felt as confident going into anything as I do now. Never. And like I said, I've done other things in the past, but there was always in the back of my mind, there was always, like, I always felt limited. Like, I really do believe, um, a lot of what I was maybe just like kind of going along with at the beginning, when Victoria would talk to me, just about, just like your limitations. And, now to me, like, my expectations are so much higher in a good way. You know what I mean? Because I realize that sky's the limit, that, there is no limitations. Before it was like, oh, I figured I'd get to here and it would be kind of mediocre and I'd kind of get to my goal. Now in my mind, I'm like, no, I'm fucking definitely getting there. You know what I mean? So yeah, for sure. And that's the one thing that I really wanted, was to just feel like I kind of blew a lot of my 30s, didn't really go well, and I felt like I was behind. And I'm like, yeah, I really need to be, like, ready to kick some ass. You know what I mean? I really need to be at the top of my game, and I am. I 100% am. So, it's just exciting. It's exciting. Because I never thought it would work out, really. Dealing dealing with, not necessarily after we were, but like just in my mind, like long term. You know what I mean? Like I said, I've been kind of struggling with myself since the '90s, which is crazy now. to think about. And like I said, I just kind of accepted it after a while. There was like a little bit of, some mental illness and things like that, and maybe a little alcohol and drug abuse in my family. So it's like these things start to come up, and you're like, well, maybe this is my life. You know what I mean? And maybe I can't change these things. I'm just going to have to deal with them. And I definitely got sucked into that, for a long time. And that's why, to be honest with you, it just feels that much better to be where I'm at now, because you hope, but you never really know, where you're going to be in the future, and how you're going to feel about it. And yeah, no, I really didn't think I would get to the point here, where I'm at. So I'm super grateful that, for whoever pushed me to get help, and to, start working with you, and, for you, and all you've done for me. It's really been amazing. And now it's exciting even for the future. You know what I mean? Because now I know that my life could be 10 times ahead of where I'm at now, in a year, in 2 years, 5 years. Um, you're more excited about the future, instead of being like, oh my God, I'm getting older. Like, I have such a different mentality than a lot of people my age. They're ready to, just kind of ride it out from here on out. And I'm really looking to see, what I can really make happen in the next 20 years, rather than just looking to coast. So yeah, it's exactly what I wanted, you know.
This is amazing. Like, oh, Rob, you're kicking ass. I'm just so proud of you. And you're standing in the new house. You have the new car. You have the new haircut, and all of the, like, you're silent. You're fresh. You're confident. You're beaming, and I'm gonna kill it going forward.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. Like this, I want to tell you, I never had a doubt. Rob, really, I never had a doubt.
I appreciate you having the faith in me, because I doubted myself at times, during the process, especially the first couple of months, because, I was still like a mess, at times. Like, we were working, and I was doing my best to try to get, what the books read, and, just whatever tasks I needed to get done. I did them, and I tried to do them as wholehearted as I could. But there was a lot of times where I slipped back, and, my mentality just went down the toilet. And I'm like, how am I going to, I'm working with somebody, and this is still happening. You know what I mean? So it's a process. And, I try to, we've talked before on in my session, sometimes I got to remind myself that I was doing the wrong thing for so long. I was dealing with things for the wrong way for so long, that, you just get used to that. And, it's so easy to just fall back into old habits and old ways of dealing with things that clearly don't work, but it's like, it's what's comfortable to you. And I'm just glad that, you stuck by me, and that I stuck by it, because it worked. It really did.
Hmm. It worked because you do. It really did. And I'm so proud of you. And it's an honor to continue to be your journey partner. Like, I can't wait to see what you're gonna create next. Oh my!
And I tell you what, later, and like, I've made strides. It's more in my head, and just in my life too. But, I'm starting out in something, in a business. I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to be in this business. I'm going to do my best. But I have to say, when people start to question me, I'm just going to send them your way. I'm going to be like, talk to Victoria. She made me do this. She made a Frankenstein. Like, if you're pissed, you can blame her.
I
I'm not
love
there yet, but when we get there, I'll just be sending them your way. I'll be like, you want to know why I'm like this? Talk to Victoria.
it.
It's not her. It's her fault.
I love it. I love it. Well, here's the thing. Like, there's some dudes watching right now. Like, you're here representing what I like our men. I call our men guardian angels or guardians of the galaxy. Like, I see you as a freaking hunter, guardian, awesome masculine presence. And it's an honor to support you in having your swords out and slaying everything left and right, as you should be. So if there are other brothers watching, right? Other hunters who are there where you were. They're in that BV era of the darkness and that, oh my gosh, every New Year's, this is going to be my new year, and 20 years of that. Like, if
Yeah.
your brothers are watching, Rob, what would you tell them?
I would just tell them to take a chance on something new. If it's something that they're really struggling and they really want to, or maybe not really struggling that much. You just feel like there's more in your game. You feel like there's a level up from you. Give Victoria a shot. Call her, set up an appointment. What would it hurt to just something new? I mean, that's the good thing about today is that a lot of people with social media, a lot of people are like know all these different ways of dealing with different problems. Like try something different, something you may have done, maybe it didn't work in the past, and maybe this worked for me, and maybe it could work for other people. And I would say just give it a shot, because it, as you get older, time goes by so much quicker. And like I saw so many years just fly by, that now I'm not like upset that they're gone, but it's like, I'm like, wow, I wish I would have maybe made this decision. I could have saved myself a couple of years. I try not to think that way, but it is what it is. You have to, if something's wrong in your life, you got to make a change now. You know what I mean? I tried the whole waiting for things to get better just on their own. It just didn't work, and I was worse off, and I wasted more time. So, for me, I would say if you're interested, or, you're thinking about it, whether you're really struggling or you just think that, there's more to your game, give it a shot, because she knows what she's talking about for sure.
Rob, you're the best. Thank you, brother.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. There's it's hard to explain, you know what I mean? Like I said, it just, the difference in my mind in the year and a half, 2 years that we've been working, it's different. And people notice too, people that know me a long time have made comments, whether it's my family or my close friends, that something's different, and that, I seem better. And, that's good for them too. They're happy to see it too, because they were there for when it wasn't good, and they were concerned, so yeah, all around. I mean, it was definitely one of my best decisions for sure.
Yay. So glad you made it. So glad for the impact that you're making in the world now, that you are feeling better and strong and confident and really spreading all that good, positive energy you've got that's just natural to you, Rob.
Thank you. It is now, you know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. Like, and it's something that like you kind of becomes like kind of contagious, whether it's, dealing with Victoria. I mean, all the books I've read on her recommendation, or just from, other people as well. And, just trying to better myself. The positivity goes a long way. And, I was always kind of like a very dark humored, sarcastic guy. And I wasn't always trying to be funny. You know what I mean? I think people thought it was funny at times. I wasn't always trying to be funny. Sometimes it was just that is really how I felt about things, or negatively. So it's really nice. It's a nice feeling for me too, to just be a positive person. And if I can kind of bring some positivity in other people's lives, that's important to me too, because others have done it for me. So that's something that's important too.
And so it is. And so you are. Oh,
Yeah.
thank you again, Rob, from the bottom of my heart, on behalf of our tribe, for sharing your story and for being fucking awesome.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Anything to help out, if I can, like, if this testimonial helps other, guys or anybody really make the decision, I'm all for it, because, yeah, I want to see everybody win. You know what I mean? We only got one life. You know what I mean? You only got a certain amount of time, and I want to take advantage of as much of it I can. And now I feel like I'm capable of doing that. Where I didn't in the past. So do it. If you're questioning it, just do it. And anybody needs to talk or whatever, like, people that are thinking about it, like, they could reach out. I don't, I'm all for it. Anything I can do to help.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Thanks, Rob. And
Absolutely.
I'll be talking to you very soon. Thank you, everyone, for
Yeah.
watching and tuning in.
All right, have a good one.
Bye, everyone.